up, guys? This is Ghost from Ghost Network. Today I'm doing a commentary with the M18 Hellcat. We'll be taking a tactical look at the Hellcat and the pros and cons and tactics you can use for it. Some of the pros, and really the only pro, are its speed with a max speed of 72 kilometers an hour and its gun, which is a 76mm until you unlock the 90mm. But really the difference between the gun is the damage, with the 76mm doing an average of 100 damage per shot and the 90mm doing an average of 200 damage per shot. The gun paired with the speed creates a truly beast of a machine, allowing you to go ahead of your team and the enemy to advance firing positions. Get the first shot off, then pull back to use the speed effectively. You have to pull back and reposition. The reason for this is the tank's armor is terrible. It's hard to bounce shots even with the correct angling. The armor just is that bad. I mean, it's really that bad. It's like basically anything above a 60mm can penetrate it, even with the armor doubled by angling. Now, you can hold a position if you have cover, but if you don't, always relocate. It's a fire and retreat tank, or relocate. Guerrilla warfare, basically, is its key. It doesn't have to be far, maybe the other side of a rock or a building, but far enough that the enemy won't be expecting you there. The cons of the tank are not that bad. It's really only the armor and that there's an open turret, but that's not that bad of a problem. If you hide behind a building or a rock that can cover your whole tank, you'll be fine. But if the enemy does land a shell in your turret, you're basically dead, or almost dead. You will lose a lot of health, and your crew members will most likely die, most of them, and parts, so your tank will blow up. It's very rare not to get crippled. If you do survive, though, use a repair kit on the engine and get the hell out of there. Which brings me to consumables, ammo, and equipment. For consumables, I always recommend the basic three: repair kit, med kit, and fire extinguisher. Now, the repair kit is extremely useful in this tank because if your engine gets damaged, or if your tracks or your turret, it's always useful to have a repair kit, because this tank has a slow traverse speed with the turret, a very powerful engine, but if it gets damaged, one of your main tools for the tank is basically gone. And if the gun gets damaged, you're pretty much screwed, because the gun is the reason why this tank is so great. The med kit is always useful. One of the main reasons why it's so useful with this tank is because you're open turreted, that if an explosive shell just goes off near your turret, it's going to most likely kill someone inside, or if they can just penetrate you with the explosive round, which is not that difficult to do. KV-1s can do it very easily. You will most likely lose a crew member from that. And the fire extinguisher, that's always handy to have on hand in case they hit you in the engine and you need to put the fire out and get out of there quickly, and you don't feel like dying. As I said, the traverse speed for the turret is slow, so if you don't want to take one of those three, you can take the 100% octane fuel. That also increases your max speed also, but not by much. It's really just for the traverse speed on the turret. For the ammo types, it doesn't have a lot of ammo, but not too little for being correctly used. I recommend taking 30 armor-piercing rounds, 5 gold rounds, and 10 high explosive. This is a good balanced set of ammo, allowing you versatility in your combat or tanks that you're engaged, that you couldn't do damage with the AP, because the gold will most likely penetrate most tanks you'll encounter, and if you can't damage them with that, you can always use the high explosive and take out some equipment and crew members on them. For equipment, I recommend camo netting, increased suspension, and binoculars. These all pair together to really make a beast of a tank if used correctly. Camo netting works great with your speed. The way it works, how it works with the speed, I know you can't be moving, but because you're going to be ahead of everyone else, that if you can get to a bush or behind a building or a rock, and if your camo netting goes off, you're going to be pretty hard to see for the enemy, and you'll be getting the spots off on them while they don't know you're there. The suspension is all obviously great because you're going to be using the speed of your tank to get away most of the time. So because you have the upgraded suspension, what you'll be able to do is fire on the move. So if you're pulling back to a different position and you're trying to keep the enemy pinned down, you can fire a shot at him if you need to. And binoculars works well with the speed of the tank, as if you can get up to an advanced firing position in front of everyone else, what you can do is just spot all the enemies for your team, and your team can start engaging them. You don't even have to fire, because basically in this tank, you are just a really super powered OP scout with a really good gun, bad armor, really fast, and if you use the equipment, you will basically get a butt ton of credits every game if you do it correctly by scouting ahead of your team, getting all the scouts off, or spots. So if you use it all correctly, you're really gonna do a lot of good work for your team, and you'll most likely win. And if you use all these things correctly, you'll become a powerhouse in the game. Like, no one will be able to stop you, do damage, unless you expose yourself too long. Now, this is the problem I've noticed with the tank, is if you get into a engaged battle with someone else, and they're firing back at you, and if you keep going to the same, area, they'll just keep pounding you, and you can't afford to take the damage, because you only have 570 health, and that's with the upgraded turret. So I recommend that you get the upgraded turret. It does only extra 20 health points, but it's still better than what it was before at 550. And because of that, you might actually survive that extra shot. Like, I know on one of the gameplays I'm showing you right now, if I didn't have the upgraded turret, I would have been dead. Anyways, so that's really the only problem with the tank, is if you're trying to engage in a battle, you'll most likely die. You have to pick and choose your battles wisely, because you don't have the armor to sustain a full-on battle. If you wanted to, you could do a brawling with this tank. Brawling is when you do circles around your opponent, because their traverse speed is slower than your speed. I've done it before. It's not really difficult to do. All you really just have to do is just pick and choose your targets, because if you know you can drive faster than their traverse speed, you're good. But if their traverse speed is as fast as you, you're dead. Because it's not really that hard to kill this tank. With the KV-1, 2 to 3 shots can kill you, and that's if you have full health. So if you're already been taking damage, it'll be even quicker. I do not recommend you getting on a... So let's say you're on a bottom of a hill and someone's at the top. You're basically dead, because then they can fire into your turret and kill you. But that's really only all the bad parts, and the good parts are the speed and the gun. If you combine those correctly, it's really good. That's really all there is to the tank itself. And a couple tactics you could use is just like wolf pack, I guess you could call it. Wolf pack tactics is where you and like two other Hellcats just drive up on the enemy and circle them, do as much damage, because if you both have the 90mm, you're both doing 200 damage a shot at least. Well, that's average, which is great. So, you know, that KV-1 could be dead within 2 to 3 shots from both, from both of you. It just depends on what your damage rolls are. But that's really about it for the
Hey guys, hope you
M18
enjoyed the
Hellcat.
video. Make sure to leave us a like rating and subscribe if you want to see more videos from us. We do Let's Plays, commentaries, and strategy guides. Click the video on the left if you want to see the introduction to the channel. I recommend that to any new people. And click the video on the right if you want to see the first in-depth video we've done on the Fokker with 190A5. Make sure to click the subscribe button at the top and leave us a like. Comment below if you have any questions or suggestions for us. Peace.